Welcome back to ASWP, another shitty wrestling podcast. I'm Billy. This is my co-host,
Jay.
and we are going to break down the best and worst of the week. And I think we should just get right into it.
Yeah, I think we'll lead off with the worst. And my third least favorite match of this week was the women's tag title match on SmackDown. Why? That is my only commentary. That's maybe a theme this. If because my opinion on my entire bottom three is why? Why are we doing this?
That's my number 3 as well. So
yeah, why are we doing this? Why are we okay? I get it. I get their gimmicks, EDM music and dancing or whatever. It's surface level, whatever. They can work. But what was the point of that? That match went like what, 4 minutes?
If that, honestly,
if
they
that,
were short on time, very short on time.
Match only went like 4 minutes. It was entirely pointless. There was no build to it. Why did these people get the challenge? And we were actually mistaken in something we'll talk about here in a minute, I'm sure. But our number one contenders were not actually number one contenders. It was a chance to be a top contender.
Yeah, even though I'm fairly confident somebody said it at one point.
I feel like someone said it. It was either said or heavily implied. And regardless of the fact that if they weren't exactly told that, it's still really bad booking that they're like 6th in line if they're supposed to be the top of the division.
Implied ain't fact, man.
You're for real. All right. What's your number 2 least favorite match of this week?
And said number one contenders, ? Shayna and Zoe versus Tegan and Natalia. Again, they are only capable of feuding with each other, having matches with each other. I don't get it.
The sequel's never as good as the first one.
The first one wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
It may have been worse.
It definitely didn't go as long.
Yeah, I will say though, we did plant some seeds for Tegan to turn heel. So maybe we're getting that. But we didn't get it this week, so it's right here.
So yeah, I mean, I guess Natalia's babyface forever now. That's something. I don't like Natalia. I don't like her gimmick. I don't like her theme. I think her theme is pandering bullshit. I know I don't have any right to say that because I didn't grow up with it, but gosh, that annoys me so much when I hear Bret Hart's riff hit.
Yeah.
I just instantly want to go to the bathroom. I'm not even going to front.
All right. Well, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is also that match.
Oh, great.
So that means I think we have the same number 1, which is Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven on Monday Night Raw. Why? That's it. The match was bad. They worked bad. The spots were bad. It looked sloppy, and it lasted like 4 minutes.
If that. You remember last week when I said that the 8 women's AEW match felt completely unnatural?
Yeah.
This match made that match feel like a WrestleMania 5-star main event.
I don't know if something happened and they had to like change booking last minute. But they did not look like they were ready to work together.
Not one bit.
Like
were Candice and Indy supposed to wrestle Shayna and Zoe? I don't even know.
Does anyone know? Will we ever know? Probably not. Does it matter? No. Would the match have been any better? I have no idea.
Yeah, probably not, honestly.
Say, Chelsea's a good worker. Piper's a fine worker. I thought that the other two were good workers too from everything I've seen them do, but that match was dog doo-doo.
Yeah, it's like Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Just does not work.
It's like
I don't.
Hulk Hogan. It just don't work, brother. Don't work for me.
It's not the '80s anymore.
Facts. All
That's a
right.
great soundbite.
It is. What? So to uh, to put us on a better note, what was your third favorite match of the week, Billy?
Well, I'm gonna be totally and completely honest. Wrestling was not great this week.
At least what we watched.
Yeah, we did not watch AEW or NXT this week. So if there was anything worse than the other three, we did not see it, and that's for good reason. Anyway, my number 3 is Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa.
Really?
Yeah, I cannot explain further than I needed a number 3.
It went longer than 5 minutes by 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, and it did its job. Solo was supposed to lose. So
Yeah. Uh I I enjoyed it. I mean, obviously is what it is, but I enjoyed everything after the match a lot more than the match from Rio. Like the Knight and AJ making the save and then Knight knocking AJ out, then Knight taking an RKO, AJ taking an RKO, Randy taking a Superman punch, the whole thing with Aldis in the contract, then Randy hitting an RKO out of a spear. Oh, dude, that was the best part of the week, honestly.
it really was. Yeah.
So, unfortunately, it wasn't a match, even though last week I didn't follow that rule when I made Chris Jericho the worst thing on wrestling, or with the week before, whichever it was. But
It was one of those weeks. What was your number 2?
My number 3 is actually different than yours.
Oh, you're number 3. That's right. I forgot about that.
It's okay. We have different tastes this week. It's crazy. My number 3 was Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate versus Pretty Deadly. The Bruiserweight is back.
Woo!
Yeah. The Pretty Deadly are good workers. It was a good match. It didn't overstay its welcome. It also wasn't too short. I thought it was just solid. And this week, solid is top 3.
Yeah.
Anywho, my number 2 is actually I did my 3. I'll let you do your 2 first, since ours were different.
All right then. Well, I've got Seth Rollins versus Jinder Mahal for the World Heavyweight Championship.
That's in your top 3?
Yeah, like I said earlier.
That was in my top 3 worst for a minute until I actually looked through the cards and remembered that the all those women's tag matches happened.
Well, wrestling wasn't good this week. I mean, it was good. It wasn't great. Seth versus Jinder goes here for me. So
that's fair. Do you have any commentary about the match? Because I don't.
Man, if Jinder was only supposed to be there, Seth wouldn't have gotten hurt. I'm joking. It was good for a Jinder Mahal match.
That's fair. My number 2 match was actually DIY versus Judgment Day, specifically McDouble and Baby Rey Mysterio. Or Tom and Nick. Was it a handicap match then? If it was Tom and Nick?
Wow. I didn't even realize that. It was, yeah.
Man, DIY won a handicap match. That's insane. Bloodline watch out. Judgment Day on the ropes. Even when they're outnumbering their competition, DIY is coming for everything.
Yeah. That was my number 1. I had that at number 1. I just thought it was the best match of the week, in my opinion, by far.
It was also the first match of the week.
It was. It left a great impression.
That no one followed up.
No, especially not the match to follow it.
The match to follow so the best way I can describe watching that opening match and getting excited for Raw and then watching the Candice LeRae match was like, imagine you like win $100 on a scratch off ticket and then you get hit by a bus.
I don't think it's that extreme, but you know.
Okay, you get hit by a compact car and you're fine. It just hurt.
Okay. we toned that down a lot.
Certain death to ouchie, my foot. My match of the week was not because it was the best, it was because it was the one I enjoyed the most. And I enjoyed it the most because I went in with such low expectations of it being anything, and it turned into being something pretty good. Kaiser versus Xavier Woods on Monday Night Raw was my favorite match of the week.
Oh, okay.
Just because Kaiser has done some of his best work I've seen him do on TV in the last 2 weeks. And Xavier matched his energy levels perfectly. Between the match itself and the post-match stuff where Kaiser tries to throw a chair at him, which was a nice callback to when he was out because he got hit with the chair. The same chair probably, or the same looking chair. To Xavier losing his mind a bit and then standing in the ring with a bloody mouth, like standing tall. That it was just, for it being a nothing story that came off of a bad spot, I enjoyed it very much so. And for that reason, it's my favorite of the week.
Yeah, they have done now 2 weeks worth of content on a concussion.
I love it. Like they've done what Jim Cornette said they should do and made something out of it, which he wanted them to make something out of it in the moment, but I'm so glad that they just stopped the match because there's no need for that.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
We don't need wrestlers wrestling concussed. We don't. I don't care if it looks bad. I don't care if it makes the momentum die. I don't care. It's not worth it. But anywho, I'll let you lead off with your top 10 wrestlers of the week.
You know what? Since you let me go first with number 2, I'll let you start us off this week.
Okay, sure. I'll start us off then. My top 10 this week, preface this with a disclaimer. This is who I enjoyed the most. And I'll explain as I go, but it's less of a who was the absolute best and more of what I bought into the most or what I enjoyed the most, whichever. At 10, making yet another appearance in my top 10 is Nick Aldis. Just him and Heyman's interaction and him and Roman's interaction was so good. Nick Aldis is the perfect GM right now. Like, I love Adam Pearce. Love Adam Pearce to death. I think he's great too. But Nick Aldis, especially his whole thing with the bloodline, is so good. Straight up telling your 1,200 plus day champion that if he doesn't sign the contract, they'll just vacate it. It's like, ooh, buddy. At 9, I put Pete Dunne just because Pete Dunne. I like it. I'm happy with it. I want Pete Dunne. I want more Pete Dunne. I want Pete Dunne to dethrone Gunther. Honest.
That would be pretty cool, honestly.
Because I don't know if you know this, but I found this out the other day or yesterday, today. It all runs together. I found this out after he came back as Pete Dunne. When Gunther was Walter dethroned Pete Dunne, who was at the time the longest champion in whichever championship he had in NXT at the time.
Yeah, UK.
Yeah, the UK title. That's what it was.
That's the UK championship.
Yes. So if they want to run that back, I know you can't do it until after the next draft, but hey, that's long-term booking. And you already have a work in there because Pete Dunne went by Butch, and Gunther can give him shit for that, and he'd be like, "All right, Walter,
That would be awesome.
I would. At 8, just because I love him and just because he was one of the few highlights of Monday Night Raw, I have R-Truth. Again, he made it into my top 10 for the 3rd straight week. I just love that man. I don't have anything else to say. You can watch him and he immediately makes the show better anytime he's on screen. At number 7, I have the actual tribal chief, head of the table for now, Roman Reigns. He didn't do much on Friday, but it was a very, very slow week. And Roman Reigns on television makes me happy.
We are most certainly heading into a Big 4 pay-per-view. Nobody wants to get hurt.
Right. Dude, I feel so bad for Seth.
No.
So bad
That's
for
in
Seth.
poor taste.
I just feel bad for him, man.
Yeah.
I hope he can make it back for Mania. If the reports are true, I hope he's back for Mania. I'd hate for him to lose his chance at a true main event. Yeah. Honest.
It's a real shame, honestly.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. But at number 6, I have 2 that were in a tag team. I have AJ Styles and LA Knight, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is the highest that Knight's been on my list, and only the second time he's been on, if even the second time.
I don't even know. This may even be the first.
It may even be the first. If it is, then I did good because I didn't just put my favorite wrestler at the top, which, yay. But no, their interactions between the promo off and the match and after the match and after the main event, everything. Oh, I'm so ready for their feud. I know they're going to cost each other the title, and they're probably going to inadvertently cost Randy at too. But oh god, I want it so bad. Especially since they're both like indie guys, more or less. Like more AJ, obviously, but like, or AJ was bigger in bigger indies, I guess is a better way to put it.
Right.
But god, I'm so ready for that. It's gonna cook so good. Especially like them blaming each other for costing each other the title. Oh, dude, it's going to go so good. At number 5, I have Akira Tozawa. He was probably like my second or third. One of my favorite parts of Raw was just he fit in the same spot like R-Truth does. Like he made the show feel lighter, and it made me happy, and it got me through Raw. So
totally fair.
Yeah. At 4, I have Randy Orton, just because him standing tall after RKOing Roman, he beat Solo, he won in the main event. So good, just so good. At 3, even though he lost in the main event, I have Solo Sikoa because I don't think before last night he said more than 3 sentences on main roster WWE. I could be wrong on that, but I haven't heard him talk more than a few words. He stepped in to save his brother from berating from the tribal chief, and I just enjoyed hearing him have a voice, and I think that we're starting to see him stand up for his brother and himself, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. At 2, I put Kaiser. Same reason that's my favorite match of the week. Kaiser's at 2 for the same reason. It's just been several weeks of him like doing the best work I've seen him do. So just refer back to that. Number 1, I have a tag team. DIY, Gargano and Ciampa, because obviously they were the best match of the week. They won, and it was very good. And a show full of not very good, it was very good. What about you?
All right. Well, my list is slightly different, and by slightly I mean it's pretty all over the place. At number 10, I have McDouble, Tom, and Nick. So even in defeat, they still put on one of, if not the best matches of the weekend, or the week rather. At number 9, I have Nick Aldis, and this is the first time he's popping up on my list, if I believe so. So, but the work he's done over the last 3 weeks has not gone unnoticed. Just more people have jumped into that top 10 over him. At number 8 and number 7, I have Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. The war of words they had. Drew McIntyre is on a mission to feud with every single face on Monday Night Raw.
But he's not a heel, though. He's not a heel, guys.
Not a heel. Not a heel.
Not a heel. He just does all the heel stuff, and then he says he's sorry, so it's okay.
Right. His words. He's right. His words. At number 6, I have Solo Sikoa. He did the best. He had the best overall night on the main roster, I believe, on Friday night.
He definitely had close to the most screen time.
Yeah, he was prominently featured. That's for sure.
That's awesome. I love that for him, honest.
At number 5, I have Pete Dunne. Thank you for listening to me. The Bruiserweight is back.
You literally asked for it, and then it started to happen a week later, and 2 weeks later, he's back.
I just love it so much. All right, my number 4 are two people, and that is LA Knight and AJ Styles. Even though they were wrestling to a double DQ or whatever they did. A DQ finish, not a double DQ.
No contest via interference.
DQ. It was really good. The work they did overshadowed the end of it.
I agree completely.
At number 3, I have the Tribal Chief, the head of the table for now, Roman Reigns. Now that Seth Rollins is hurt, I think now we could see Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania. And people wouldn't be up in arms about it. At number 2, I have DIY, best match of the week.
Absolutely.
And they won. So, but at number 1, I have Randy Orton. From the first segment of the night where he manhandled Paul Heyman to the last segment of the night where he attacked every single living person in his close proximity.
It was so good. I'm so glad Randy's back. Did you catch the first backstage segment with the Bloodline where Paul's standing there and his tie's completely untied?
Yeah, Randy did that, man.
So good. It was so good.
Yeah. The story they tell, even when the story's not all there, they're still able to get everything out of it.
For sure.
Well, I think that about does it.
Yeah, I think it does. I think
we got a real busy week ahead of us. We got
Royal
Monday,
Rumble.
Friday, Saturday. We got the Royal Rumble. And I'll have a different view of this one. I'll be in attendance.
You will.
So, I will be. It'll be a real good show in person, I think.
Oh, you're going to miss all the commercials.
Oh, no. Darn.
No, they'll still play him on the jumbotron probably.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about it.
For
Are they
sure.
going to add a fifth match? Are they?
I
Is
hope
there
they
a?
do. I don't know what it's going to be, but I hope there's 5 matches. We'll see though.
Yeah, there's no like women's world title match, but there's also no story to tell there in a week. Um,
Yeah, it's I don't know.
it,
Well,
it's probably going to be DIY versus Damien and Finn or
I would like that.
something along those lines.
I don't know. We'll
It
find out.
really, it
We'll find out
really
this week.
depends on what happens Monday with
It,
Seth's knee.
yeah, we'll kick off the show with that Monday. So we will see you guys next week, and we will see how kickoff week and Rumble goes.